Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chapter 1 and Beyond. My name is Christina. I am your host, and today is the long awaited episode of Try It or Trash It. I finally got through all the books, guys. um, we're going to be changing it back to 3 books, though, because that took a very, very, very long time, and I felt like it's been a bit since we've revisited this, but it did also work out really well because I did get through majority of the books. We're going to talk about that. So, on last episode, I had updated you guys on my progress, but I want to recap on the original episode, episode 5, of the books that were drawn in that episode, and let's just talk about them. I'm going to do rapid fire of the ones that I did get, and then I will do the ratings, and then I'll give you my thoughts along the way, and then we'll pick out some new books. So, yeah, get cozy. We're doing this, so let's go. So, okay, so on episode 5, we had the following books drawn from that episode: Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, Mistborn Book 1, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, Walden and On the Duty of Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau, Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So, here are my ratings for each of these books, and then I will tell you my thoughts as we go. So I rated Camp Zero 4.0 stars. Mistborn, I rated that 5.0 stars. Walden and On the Duty of Civil Disobedience, I rated that 3 stars. Black Beauty, I rated that 3.5 stars. Dark Matter, I rated that 2.5 stars. And A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, I DNF'd that book. So, some of these ratings might shock a few people because I know that some of these are a crowd favorite for a lot of people, especially Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I loved, and I hope that I'm not giving this away, but like identifying any spoilers when I'm talking about this. So just kind of, I won't give like too much detail, but um, I will say I did like the way that Dark Matter kind of went, but I also didn't like the part that made me rate it the way I did was it felt very repetitive throughout the book, and I really just didn't care about the main character. And I know that sounds heartless, but there were some situations in the book that progressed along, and it just felt like, you know, I don't know. It just felt very repetitive, and I mean, for the type of content that is in this book, it made sense. I'm not gonna give any of like greater detail than that, but I will say that it was interesting to kind of read through this one because I've seen this kind of content that is in this book. I wish I could give more context beyond that, but I have read other books with a similar theme or a similar context of content, and I've seen it done a bit better and more unpredictable. Because I believe this one was a thriller, which I did not know that, because I thought it was sci-fi, but I am keeping it on my shelf because I feel like the timing of which I read this book was not great. It may be because I had listened to it on audiobook that did it in for me as well. So I do physically own this book, and I am planning on keeping it on my shelf. Um, I will not be revisiting this book this year, but in 2027, I do very much want to reread this book just to see if I feel a bit differently about it in a year. So, those are my thoughts on that. Deborah Harkness's A Discovery of Witches. Again, I do did physically own this book. I have decided to put it in my donation pile. It's has not left my library yet, but um, I just could not do this book. I got about, I think I got about 8% of the way through. Maybe greater than that. Maybe I hit, I can't even remember, to be quite honest. I know I had mentioned it in my progress, episode 5.5. So check that one out. But I just couldn't do it. It just was like, I love the whole element of the witches and everything, but there was just something that just like, I just personally was bored with it, and it just wasn't vibing with me. So that's why I ended up DNFing that one. Walden in On the Duty of Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau. I absolutely loved the essay, but I felt like Walden was a big giant rant on random topics, and I'm not a literature like English major, and I could see how people feel that this is like a work of art, but I just personally was bored, and I felt like it was a very long tangent on things that I felt like if it were written in this era, in this year 2026, I feel like it would be labeled differently. So, I know that's probably a bit harsh for a very, popular classic, but um, I mean, it was okay, and I got through it, and I really loved On the Duty of Civil Disobedience, and I will be keeping it on my shelf, just like Black Beauty. Those are my classics. Like I'm not getting rid of those. But yeah, I mean that's just pretty much where I ended up landing with that one. Black Beauty, I did give it a point 0.5 higher score than Walden. I love that, the family, and it was good. It definitely matched with the time period it was trying to measure at, and I'm glad I read it. But I feel like this would be something more for like my daughter, because she's absolutely obsessed with like animals and horses and things like that. So I'm glad I read it, and I probably will not pick that up unless my daughter has questions about it. But um, I am keeping it on my shelf. So, and then let's talk about Camp Zero, because Camp Zero, that one took me by surprise. That one was really, really good. The only reason why I didn't give it a 5 star was because there were quite a few spots, and even that ending. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that ending just like really like kind of upset me a little bit because um it felt really rushed, and it felt like, oh, we're just getting to the end of this and let's just wrap things up. It just felt like kind of like that. And like kind of the potential of where these characters could land, I feel like um it didn't happen with it. So um it was very interesting though for dystopian. Let's just put it that way. So I definitely recommend reading it. I do physically own this one, so this one will physically remain on my shelf because I do foresee myself rereading this one. Um, so yeah, I mean, definitely recommend it. I physically read this one. I did not listen to this on audiobook. Um, so yeah, definitely do recommend. If you're looking for a more modern day dystopian, Camp Zero is your book for sure. Um, Along with The Last Murder at the End of the World too. That one is definitely another one that I would recommend if you're looking for modern day dystopian. Um, and then let's talk about Mistborn, Book One, The Final Empire. Oh my gosh. Like, I understand now, guys. I get it. I understand exactly why Brandon Sanderson is so hyped up. This guy knows how to world build like it's no one's business, and he knows how to build all these amazing, diverse plethora of characters in his worlds. And I am so excited that I own this book because now I'm gonna try and fight to find the next two books with the same cover because I feel like I need to have these books on my shelf. I am very excited for book two. Boy, was this a ride, and I just 100%. I had originally started with audiobook, and I'm very, very, very glad that I switched over to physical reading this particular series. Um, I feel like the same thing was starting to happen with me with Stormlight Archive, but that book intimidates me so bad because the first book in that Stormlight Archive series, if you know, you know, is like over 1,000 pages. It's just over one page of 1,000 pages. So that's why I was like, okay, Mistborn is definitely a palate cleanser, like getting yourself dove into the Cosmere and just learning about Brandon Sanderson's writing. This is one of his earlier works, from what I was told, compared to Stormlight Archive. So I did my research, at least with Brandon Sanderson, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I had wished that I'd done that with the Sarah J. Maas books, because originally I had started a Throne of Glass series, but then someone had told me, hey, you should really look at the ACOTAR series. Got completely submerged in that last year. But long story short, I learned from that experience with Sarah J. Maas that I need to start doing like more research. I like going into books blind, but this particular author and like some of these like very, hyped up like series and authors, I feel like I need to do more due diligence, just because of the fact that sometimes these books get so hyped up because of the popularity that like when I go into them, it's like I don't like them, and I feel like I've wasted money and time and all that jazz. So, but Miss Bourne definitely lives up to that hype. I am very excited for book two and three. Let's go. I almost want to like filter it into this month's reading because I don't want to stop reading the series. I want to keep going. I want to find out what happens to these characters, and I'm so excited. So, okay, but that's my thoughts on the ones that I had drawn. So now going into this series, if you guys are new here, welcome. This is probably an odd episode to be starting off listening to this Try It or Trash It series, but this is a mini series that I created where I spin this random spinner wheel that I created with all of like my to be read books, and then we're gonna determine if I'm gonna like give them a go or trash it and get rid of it. So I'll read like kind of like the excerpt, kind of get a feel for if I want to give it a try. And then even at the end, if I read it, kind of like what happened with the Discovery of Witches, I find out that I don't want to keep it, I'll just get rid of it and donate it. When I say trash it, I mean literally just take it to a free little library in the Northeast Ohio area, or donate it to, you know, um, centers that help teens and women and families and things like that. So I don't physically burn books or throw them away unless they are physically not salvageable. So let's just put that out there. But yeah, I'm really excited that you guys are here. So we are going to do a spin and see where we land here. Weren't we just talking about Sarah J. Maas? I landed on House of Sky and Breath. I don't know if this book though. Oh, that's the third in that series. No, no, no. We gotta spin again because I can't trash that one because I haven't read the first two in that series. So this is unfortunately going to probably take a little bit because I do have a lot of series that I either haven't started or I'm in the middle of or I just started. So I'm doing another spin. Oh wow. Okay, guys, I got the Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. Okay, actually, I have funny story about this book. So I have started and stopped reading this book, and I think it is time. It really is time for me to just knock this one out. Let me see if I can find this book. Hang on one second. Okay, I finally found it. I thought it was up on my cart that I have upstairs because I'm in my basement right now. Okay, so Aaron Morgenstern's The Night Circus. Same author that did The Starless Sea. I've listened to audiobook, but I was so thoroughly confused. I feel like I need to reread that one. So that is on my shelf as well. But let me read the excerpt for you, or at least the back, and then we can go from there. Okay, so Associated Press said magical, enchanting, spellbinding, mesmerizing. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tents is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazement. It's called Le Cirque de Rêve. My French is not very good. So apologies on that. And it says, and it is only open at night. But behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway, a duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them both, this is a game in which only one can be left standing. Amidst the high stakes, Celia and Marco soon tumble headfirst into love, setting off a domino effect of dangerous consequences and leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. And the Washington Post says it's a love story for adults that feels luxuriously romantic. And then looks like Erin Morgenstern has created the circus I have always longed for, and she has populated it with dual love-struck magicians, precocious kittens, hyper elegant displays of beauty, and complicated clocks. This is a marvelous book. All right. Well, let's see. How many pages is this? I mean, I am really not in the mood for romance, but this is 512 pages. I think I'm going to give it a go because one, this has been on my shelf for about 4 years. Two, this paperback that I have is in like pristine condition. I feel like I haven't even taken this off of my shelf, let alone even flipped through it. And I feel like Aaron Morgenstern deserves some space on my TBR to be read soon. So, okay, so that one is definitely getting added. I'm gonna remove that from my wheel, and we are gonna. I just realized Dark Matter was still on my wheel. Okay, so let's give it another spinny spin. I originally had this set for 3 books, then I switched to 6 books. I'm trying to feel out for what's possible to deliver to you guys in a more closer proximity of updates. So the next book that I like struck was Supernova. I don't know which that one that is. Let me see if I can find it on my shelf. Okay, guys. I'm not sure what this book is. I'm not seeing it on my shelf. I actually just went upstairs and checked too. I think I'm going to remove this and give it another spin because I'm not seeing this book and I actually don't know who the author is of this one. Um, I don't know where that book came from, to be quite honest, but let's just do another spin and see where it lands. Yeah, this episode is not going the way I planned. I landed on Onyx Storm. I haven't even read Fourth Wing yet, so this is just going back into the pile. This is the problem with my shelf is that I have way too many flippin' series that I have on my shelves. So, all right, let's see. Starflight. Who wrote that one? I feel like I'm getting sci-fi like lately. Let's see. Starflight. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for this one too because I don't see it off the top of my shelf. So hang on one second. Okay, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna remove that one too and spinny spin again because I can't find that one either. Oh man. Okay, that one I know where it is. Okay, so I got How We Became Wicked. All right, I do have that one on my shelf. Thank goodness. All right, so this one is by Alexander Yates. How We Became Wicked. It is a first-class sci-fi horror story, apparently. Woo, okay. A play called The Wickedness is pulsing through the world, and in its wake, it's dividing the population into thirds. The wicked is the infected, the true, the saved, the vexed, the immune. The divisions seem clear cut, but three teens, Astrid, Hank, and Natalie, start to realize that not everything is as clear as it seems, begging the question, what does being wicked really mean? Okay. So this one was looks like it was published in 2019. This is a YA. This is for 14 years and up. So, you know how I've been with YA books, but I'm going to give it a whirl because this was part of my book outlet binge that I had um, kind of bought a bunch of books at random, didn't even look into them, just thought, hey, the cover looks great and that sounds cool. um, so I don't do that anymore, but these books are kind of like been residing on my shelf. Some of them have been really great and others have not been so much. So, all right, well, we're up to two books now. Let's just keep going. I think I'm going to go up to four this time. I'm not going to do six because I feel like it took a long time for me to do this episode. All right. Well, this is going to be a very carnival circus esque TBR because I just landed on Caravel. Oh my god. All right, so this is another one that has been sitting on my shelf for God knows how long. Hey, why not? I mean, we're gonna have Aaron Morgenstern's Circus. We got Caravel now, by Stephanie Garber. Um, okay, I'm just struggling because these two books, The Night Circus and Caravel, have both been on my shelf for some time, and I keep saying, "Oh, I want to do like a circus themed or whimsical circus type TBR," and I guess the spinner wheel is just giving it to me. Um, so okay, so this is the start of a three-book series. It is so the outside cover doesn't have a description, but it looks like it's in the inside cover here. But it looks like the cover says a legendary competition, a mesmerizing romance, an unbreakable bond between two sisters. Scarlet Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caravel, the faraway once a year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long dream of imitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious sailor, Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caravel's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that this season's Caravel revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Caravel is only an elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with other players in the game. And whether Caravel is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. Welcome, welcome to Caravel. Beware of being swept too far away. Every time I read this description, I'm like, yes, let's do this. Like, and I've been wanting this on my TBR for so long, and I'm finally doing it. Yay. Okay, I'm so excited now. I think what I might do instead of reading how he became wicked, because usually I follow the way that I draw it. Normally I follow that, but I think I might do Caravel. I don't know. Um, if you guys have read The Night Circus and Caravel, let me know. What order do you think I should do? Caravel first, or do you think I should do The Night Circus first? I'm debating because I know Caravel is technically considered YA. It is teen fiction. So I don't know. I'm more into like adult fiction right now, so maybe that'll help set up the way for Caravel. I don't know. Or maybe I do Caravel and then build myself up to the Night Circus. I don't know. Regardless, we are going to run with this. I am loving this TBR. Okay. So that one is being tried as well. So we're up to 3 books now. Let's see what I get next. Because why not? Okay. Um, so the spinner wheel landed on the Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Okay, we are really in a fantasy era now. All right. So I got the special edition with the purple sprayed edges, and I absolutely adore and love the cover of this book. But I've been hearing that this is more of a cozy fantasy. This isn't like like a different fantasy that like high stakes and action packed and all that. Um, I hear this is very cozy, so I very much want to add this to the list and definitely give it a try because I've heard so many cute little things about it. And I haven't had this on my shelf for very long. This is a let's see. Let's read the cover and let's find out together because I actually haven't read the description of this one. So, a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spellbooks, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. Kyla has always had trouble dealing with people. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she and her assistant Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decade sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. When a revolution begins and the library goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spellbooks that they can carry and head to a remote island Kyla never thought she'd see again, her childhood home. Taking refuge there, Kyla discovers, much to her dismay, a nosy and very handsome neighbor who can't take a hint and keeps showing up day after day to make sure she's fed and to help fix up her new home. In need of income, Kyla identifies something that even the bakery in town doesn't have: jam. With the help of an old recipe book her parents left her and a bit of illegal magic, her cottage garden is soon covered in ripe berries. But magic can do more than make life a little sweeter. So Kyla risks the consequences of using unsanctioned spells and opens the island's first ever and much needed secret spell shop. Like a Hallmark rom-com full of mythical creatures and fueled by cinnamon rolls and magic, the spell shop will heal your heart and feed your soul. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give this a try. I That description was a little interesting. Because I like my fantasy books with action and just plain out like character build. I feel like this is gonna be just like, hey, let's hang out at grandma's cottage shop and eat jam and smell flowers. So, um, maybe it'll prove me wrong. I don't know, but we're up to 4 books. Oh man, I'm debating if I want to do one more spin. I feel like if I do too many spins, it's going to be a while until I talk with you guys again. But It's not to say that I could not get the audiobooks for some of these. I know Caraval I could totally get an audiobook for. I know with the Night Circus I can get an audiobook for. But I feel like the Spell Shop and the How We Became Wicked, I'm not going to be able to get it. Maybe I'll do. Okay, I'm going to just do one more spin. I promise this is the last spin because we're already at 30 minutes and I intended for this series to be short and sweet and to the point. Let's see. Moondust. Moondust. That is one of my sci-fi books. You know what? No, Moondust is upstairs in my sci-fi inspired TBR. So we're gonna actually take this off the list because that is gonna have nothing to do with this. Let's do one final spin. Let's see. Yeah, The Great Hunt. That's part of the Wheel of Time series. I haven't even read the first one of that, so that's gonna be a respin. I'm holding my breath because I'm worried. Maybe I didn't update this list. This is another one that is upstairs on my sci-fi shelf. That is Starsight. I couldn't tell you the name of the author though. Um, I literally grabbed a bunch of random sci-fis and I was like, yes, this is what I'm reading for the month. Let's see what we get. The Storm of Swords. That's part of the Game of Thrones series that I have not read yet. So another respin. Maybe we are just gonna go with 4 books. Let's see what we get now. Ender's Game. Okay. Actually, yeah, this works great. Let me go grab that one. That one is by Orson Scott Card. Okay. Yeah, this actually works out great because um I am doing sci-fi this month, but I did want to add this one into the mix, but it never happened. And this is under 400 pages, so I feel like this is absolutely possible. So if you don't know what Ender's Game is, it is a Orson Scott Card series. It is a pretty lengthy series. I only have the first in this series, but it is a major motion picture. It's like I actually got introduced to it because of the movie. I did not realize that this is a full-fledged like sci-fi series, but it is about a kid that is kind of like a prodigy for his age, and they are training these kids up like in a battle school, so to speak. And they think that, like, at least with the movie, they think that they're doing this simulation. Um, they're really actually like battling aliens and stuff. But um, the back cover says, once again, the Earth is under attack. An alien species is poised for a final assault. The survival of humanity depends on a military genius who can defeat the aliens. But who? Ender Wiggin, brilliant, ruthless, cunning, a tactical and strategic master, and a child. Recruited for military training by the world government, Ender's childhood ends the moment he enters his new home, Battle School. Among the elite recruits, Ender proves himself to be a genius among geniuses. He excels in simulated war games, but is the pressure and loneliness taking its toll on Ender? Simulations are one thing. How will Ender perform in real combat conditions? After all, Battle School is just a game, isn't it? I love this movie, and I have a feeling I'm gonna love this series even more. And the fact that I'm doing a sci-fi like TBR to mix in with all of this with all this like cozy fantasy and all the things, like I feel like I need to add that one. So so yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna like draw though for this because I want to be able to update you guys on episodes a little bit more frequently. Um, but with my schedule, because I'm a troop leader of a Girl Scout troop, and hello, we're in cookie season right now. If you need cookies, by the way, I'm happy to provide a link for shipping. But Yeah, I will plug that all day long. I don't care. So, unfortunately, we don't ship to Canada or Europe or anywhere besides the US. So I do apologize for that. It would probably be very expensive if you were to do that anyway. But, anyways, getting back to the content, but know that my schedule is just absolutely insane right now. So I don't get many opportunities to sit down and physically read. So, with that said, I'm going to stick with just these 5 books. Hopefully, I can update you guys in about 2 weeks. I'm thinking that if I can get some of these on audiobook, it'll probably be sooner than that, but we're just going to go with it. But these are the 5 books that I got. We got Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. We have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. We have Caravel by Stephanie Garber. We have How We Became Wicked by Alexander Yates. And then we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I am very excited for this pile. Between like my sci-fi picks and this, I'm very excited for February reads. This may go into March. We will see. I'm hoping that before the end of the month I'll have another episode for you guys. But um, I do this for enjoyment. I'm very excited about this series, like, and how it has taken me so far. Very excited for the potential of this series as well, because it is really helping a lot with dwindling down my physical reads and my carts. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about my progress with my physical TBR. But until next time, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy your reading. If you have read any of these books, feel free to leave in the comments if you're on YouTube or Facebook, or heck, even I believe you could do it on Spotify too. Leave in the comments like what you thought of these books. I would love to talk with you. If you're on hardcover, I do enclose a link to my hardcover app profile. Would love to follow you and like talk all things books. But if you haven't liked or subscribed to the podcast, please do so, because it really helps me a lot with my content creation and reaching out to people that might love this. So, but yeah, take care, guys. Stay warm. Happy Monday. It is February 9th as I'm recording this. So please stay warm, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take care. Bye.